Hey everyone, this is Keith from Gaming Trend and Tabletop Throwdown, and I am here with the infamous Stephen Bonacore.
Infamous.
Yes.
Infamous.
From Stronghold Games, and we are here at Origins, and they, it seems like he likes to release a game about every other day, so we're going to go with the special Origins releases that we have here.
We have released quite a few in the last 2 months. It's been like a huge period of time because of the big deal that we struck with Edgar Spieler. So we brought back, so over the last 2 months, we brought out their new game in the Village line, My Village, which has a legacy because we also picked up the Village and its expansions, Village Inn and Village Port, that got dropped for a while by another company, TMG, but now we picked up the line again. My Village is the brand new game. It's from Edgar Spieler, as I mentioned, thematically similar to the Village line, but mechanically completely different game experience. In My Village, you have your own village. This is your village right here in the center, and on the sides here, you're going to be putting cards, you're going to be building out cards of the different types of people that work in the village and travel in the village. The center, where right now you just see some of the thematic stuff, will have all of these cards, and another board where you'll be tracking victory points, you'll be tracking the passage of time. There's a rat meeple in there that when he hits, the plague hits and things like that. The coolest mechanic of this is the action dice selection. The first player is going to roll a bunch of dice, and then each player in turn is going to take 2 dice, add the number together. Say they grabbed a 6 and a 3, they have a 9. They can then buy from the center the buildings that have a 9 on them. They can buy one building, and then they can add it to their village, and then when they pick the dice again, when they activate on a 9, they can then produce goods or travel or add to the clergy or go to the market. They can do all the things. So the dice determine what items can be purchased and then what items can be added to. It's not a randomness factor at all. It's simply the dice will still have the actions in it. A lot like La Granja, which actually does the same thing. You roll those dice and that's what's available at any given time. You might think that the last player's got a problem because they have less dice to choose from, true, but there is a first player token that you can actually get extra victory points by then taking the first player token, so that you're gonna get the extra victory points and you will go first later on, in the next round. Really good. If you like that crunchy Euro, this is a medium heavy Euro, not quite the weight of like a Kanban, but definitely a bigger game than most Euros. This is the kind of thing. My Village.
So what differentiates it between the original Village and My Village?
Right, thematically the same, but these action dice selection and the buying of the cards and adding them into your own village is really cool. I didn't mention that time is going to pass along this track here. There's a track here. Time will pass when the time marker gets past the Grim Reaper. He jumps on you, and then one of your guys in your village dies, and you put him into the center of the board, and he dies. You might even get victory points for if he's a famous guy dying first. So,
how many players does it support?
2 to 4 players, very smooth across those lines.
And takes about
60 to 90 minutes.
60 to 90 minutes, and it's here for.
It's here at $60.
$60.
It's just been released. Last week it came out.
Cool.
The next thing we'll talk about, let's go to Pirate Tunes. Pirate Tunes, you're trying to build the biggest, baddest, best pirate ship on the 7 seas. Really cool thing about this is not only you're building this by you see these different slots and you're adding to them and you're adding things on top of them. This is the center. It's a treasure chest. So it's a 3-dimensional piece that has like a little lip on it. You take you take the long slat parts of the ship and you take these other smaller pieces, which are like the people and the flags. You put them in there face down. You put the lid on the chest. When you turn it over, it reveals what's inside there, and then you send your pirates over in a quick real-time round of 15 seconds to go claim those things in the center, and then you're building it. Essentially, it's set collection. After you've rushed over, you add it to your ship. You're trying to get the most cannons, the most flags of a certain type, the most people of a certain type onto your ship. Lots and lots and lots of ways to score at the end. Fast, fun, family-friendly. Plays in about 30 to 45 minutes. There's 30 minutes on a box. Easily, once you understand the game, 30 minutes, 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up. really fun pirates. Who doesn't love pirates?
Right.
With beautiful, beautiful artwork too. The game just looks great on the table.
My son is into pirates right now, and he would love that.
How old is your son?
3.5.
A little young for this,
a little young, but
but he can see the pirates on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's talk about Animals on Board, which came out at the same street date as Pirate so about 3 weeks ago. Animals on Board was recommended for the Spiel des Jahres this year. Not nominated, but recommended. Since it's on the recommended list, it can't win, which is okay because then I won't have to be disappointed when Codenames wins. So in Animals on Board, which really, again, gorgeous artwork, very pretty, family friendly. The animals are so adorable too because there's 5 different of each animal, and the baby ones are like the one on them are small and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. In Animals on Board, you have a physical arc in front of you, which is like a tile rack. It's physical, and you're going to be bringing animals onto your arc. Now, of course, the problem here is that there's this guy named Noah. You might have heard of him. He's got an arc too. So if at the end of the game you have exactly a pair of any animal, he claims all the pairs. So you want to get either one of a kind or 3, 4, and 5 to score the biggest number. One of a kind is only going to score a point to 5 points max, but 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, and 5 of a kind is 5 points times the number of animals you have. So, and the mechanic in the game is I split, you choose.
Okay.
So there's a big herd in the center. First thing I do is I just take a few of them, I break them off, and then I take some food onto my arc with me. You're going to probably split too and get some food. At some point after this happens, somebody's going to say, I want to bring some of these animals. I like that group. It matches some of my guys I already have. You then pay the number of food equal to the number of animals you're bringing on board, and then you add them there. When somebody gets to 10 or more animals, you finish the round out, and then you score based on that. Food's worth 1 point each, and then the animals are scored based on the sets that you have.
Cool.
Really simple, light, fun, great family game, but a great game for gamers because you have to make those tricky decisions. Wait, he was collecting the pandas before, so I got to make sure the pandas stay apart, and things like that. So that's Animals on Board.
And about
I should tell you, yes, 2 to 4 players, 20 to 30 minutes, ages 8 and up.
Cool.
$29.95, $30.
Yeah, it's great value for the pieces and
yes. Hopefully you'll be shooting some of them and showing people what they look like too. So now, not even out yet. The dynamic duo here of the pocket line. This is number 2 in the pocket line, Bear Valley, and number 3 in my pocket line. Diamonds was number 1, if you remember from last year.
Yes.
Let's talk about Stellar Conflict first. Why not? Stellar Conflict is thematically in the Among the Stars universe. So you got the same similar artwork, the same names for the races. This is a 10-minute game with huge replay value. So in Stellar Conflict, and again, we don't see too much of the components here. We'll show them on the table later. Hopefully you'll get some of that. All the races are meeting for a battle in space. So you build a fleet of ships, which are square cards, just like in Among the Stars, square cards. You're gonna build a fleet of ships, takes you like 3 minutes, so that you play a certain number of points, like you're gonna do a 35-point fleet. You pull out the cards you want, and then in real time, in like a 1-minute round, you start a clock, 1 minute, you put the cards down, you position them to start shooting at the other player's stuff, at their cargo ships, which start first, at each other. After that 1 minute, you stop, and then you see who has shot who. The smaller, faster ships have a lower initiative, they're going to go first, and then the big, hulking ships are going to go at the end. Hopefully they survive to fire the biggest, most powerful lasers. A cool thing that we have in there, besides what I mentioned, the cards, there's 88 cards, there's lots of tokens to measure the damage, a lot of wooden cubes to put on the cargo ships. But we also have, you might think they're rubber bands that are cut, they're laser bands. So they're like your line of sight markers. So on the card, it'll show you that there's a line that then extends. So to see if I hit that guy or not, I take the laser band and I extend it, say, I hit that, or I missed it, and I hit my own ship. Friendly fire hurts in this game. This is 2 to 4 players again, plays in 10 minutes for ages 10 and up.
Cool.
And now the strangest game of all. How many hobby games have got this roaring bear on it, right?
Yeah.
And also by designer Carl Chuddick. Now, do you know Carl Chuddick?
Yeah.
Glory to Rome, Matina, Innovation, these big, heavy, thinky, brain-burny games. Well, he also did Red 7, right? Nice, light game, very easy and approachable. but different, right? Well, guess what? He did one not as light as Red 7, but certainly like on that lower end of scale of complexity, but with that Carl Chudik feel to it, because there's all these little things that you can possibly do. In Bear Valley, and again, this is going to be hard to see, you're going to look great on the table when you take a look. In Bear Valley, you start on one end of a river that you put on the table to begin with, and you're going to try to get from that first card, which is your base camp, to the end. The first player there is going to win the game. You're trying to escape Bear Valley. And of course, things are going to happen, like bears are going to show up and scare you away. You can't go there. You're going to be able to pick up items like canoes that are going to help you down the river, or machetes to cut through the underbrush, or telescopes so you can see more around you and things like that. So it's a game about exploration and pushing your luck. And the really interesting mechanic in this game is that time passes as you take your turn. So you literally point to an exit of your card, you say 1 o'clock. If there's a card there already, because you've already seen it, just say 1 o'clock and you continue. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. When you get to a place where you want to explore a new thing, and you say like 5 o'clock, if you explore, something bad can happen to you. So you're pressing your luck, all right? And there's mechanics whereby if you press your luck too far, after like 6 p.m., a bear shows up, you can be eaten and out of the game. But that happens very rarely, because you would never push your luck past 6 p.m. unless it's like a last-ditch effort, because you know the next guy or two are going to win the game. So Bear Valley, it's really got that Carl Chudikness to it, because of these little tricky, weird little rules that he's added, and these little thinky things, but on the much lower end of the scale than his Glory to Rome's and the Time, that kind of way.
Yeah.
That's Bear Valley. Both of these games coming out in 2 weeks. No, next week, June 22nd.
Okay.
2 to 6 players, plays in 15 to 30 minutes for ages 8+.
That cover makes it look like something you'd expect at Bass Pro Shops or something.
Yeah, that's right. I could be selling that like in a fishing store or something like that, right? So that's it. So you can see the Stronghold is doing quite a bit of new things. We're really ratcheting up again this year. We're looking to just become a game company that every gamer will look to say, like, well, what's Steven, what's Stronghold doing in that game space? We even are doing a war game this year for the first time, right? So The Fog of War, Jeff Engelstein's first solo design. So just want to be there for everybody to think about when they're purchasing their games. What is Stronghold doing like in that? Oh, and I know they do some good stuff, so I want to try to get that game because I know I like that style of game. That's what we're doing.
Well, thank you for your time and your passion, and appreciate you being here at Origins and taking the time with me.
Thank you, buddy.